Welcome to the Project Brother-in-Law. That's Kendall, Pickle Pro.
Check out my channel.
And while I'm filming, the brother-in-law is doing all the work. It's different from the Project Father-in-Law where I did all the work. But we are here, gonna redo his front lawn and his side yards in a, just renovate them. But the key thing is for this renovation is that he has requested that it be a no-kill renovation, which some of you are saying, well, isn't that just overseeding? Technically, in a weird way, yes. But if you think about a real definition of a renovation is changing something from its current state to a new state. And so his front yard and his side yards, now they built this house a couple years ago. It's weedy, there's not a lot of good turf left. And so with a no-kill renovation, we're obviously not using any herbicides or anything to kill off the existing greenery. So basically what I told him to do is scalp the lawn down to the lowest setting on the mower, which is what I did. This is what I did on my yard 3 years ago. You can find that video on my channel. So at its lowest setting, now you are gonna have obviously some weed issues here in the fall, but not much. And then with the winter frost and freezes, it will kill off the existing weeds, which is a good thing. And then in the spring, you put down a pre-emergent, and that will really help the young grass you just put down have a good chance to thrive and grow into the fall. The negative side about a no-kill renovation is that it takes a little bit longer for you to see the results, like at the Project Father-in-Law, or anytime you do a real, like a kill-off renovation, where you kill the existing turf, and you basically start from scratch. You kind of, unless you mess up, you see the results really here late fall, beginning of next spring, it looks fantastic. With a no-kill, it's gonna look a little bit splotchy. It's gonna take probably 2 or 3 years of doing the fall overseeding to really get to look as good as it can. On my house, if I wasn't moving this fall, I think next spring it would have been the peak. Because I still had a little bit of weed issues this year, but with that, this fall being the 3rd year of renovating that house or doing the overseed, it probably would have looked the best it's gonna look and probably be at its peak going forward through the rest of, from everything that I've done so far. So right now he's got the aerator going. We got some work to do. The main lawn is over actually the whole area that we're doing is 2,600 square feet. He's not gonna do the backyard because he's got a special project going on in the backyard next year. And so he doesn't want to really worry about that grass yet. But the aeration is done. When you're aerating, okay, this is, most people know this, you wanna at least do 2 passes. You want to, sort of crisscross it. You want to do at least 2 because you want to make sure you're basically, getting enough cores. You want to break up the turf is essentially what you're doing. And depending on the type of lawn, type of grass you're going for, you may want to rake up the cores. Because we're doing tall fescue, we're not real mowing or anything like that. So we're going to leave the cores in the ground. It brings up soil, so it's good to see the soil contact. But it is a dirty, soppy mess. We've had rain for like the last 3 days, remnants of whatever hurricane it was. So it's been raining a lot. I think it was a hurricane, whatever it was. But anyway, so while he's aerating the other side here, I'm gonna go ahead and get the seed together for this lawn. Breaking from the norm of the last couple years, I'm gonna be using the GCI Turf Premium Turf Type Tall Fescue Blend. I just wanted to try something different on my main lawn at my house, different cultivars than I previously have done with the Seed Superstore, which I still could have done with Seed Superstore, but I wanted to put a whole different type in there. Obviously, I'm not doing a renovation on my lawn this year. I may still be able to put some seed down at my new house, but I don't want the seed to go to waste. I want to get it down because seed does expire. You know, the older the seed is, the less percentage of germination you get. So we're gonna go ahead and put this down here at this house. I think he'll be really happy with it. It's perfect for our environment here in East Tennessee. You know, this is obviously made or used in North Carolina with peat with GCI turf. And so our climates are very similar, our soil structures are very similar, so I think this will do very well here in East Tennessee. He has 2,600 square feet on his property. The key, you have to measure your lawn. If you don't measure your lawn, you're not gonna know how much seed to put down, how much product to put down, so know the size of your property. So 2,600 square feet is what he has here. 1,600 on this main portion and 1,000 on the side over there. And with GCI turf, tall fescue, you want to do 8 to 10 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Because this is a more of a heavy renovation, we're gonna go the full bore, 10 pounds per 1,000. On that drop spreader, I'm using a drop spreader. In the past, I've used the broadcast spreaders, but because they're broadcast, they sort of throw seed everywhere. So you get seed in your flower bed and on the sidewalk, so you can blow the seed, into the lawn and stuff. But even though the drop spreader can take a little bit longer to do it, you get more of a precise application. And with that one, I don't know what brand it is. I bought it on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace for $10. So it seems to be doing pretty good. I don't know the settings on it, so I just want to just eyeballing it. And if we have to do more passes to get all the seed out that we need, then we do. I'd rather have to do more passes to get all the seed out versus having too much fall at one time, then you don't have an even application or even coverage. So he's busting it. So here we have the next DIY, or not the next, we have the next seed starter overseed pack. It contains, you got your RGS, which is a root growth stimulant, which is what you want to put on fresh grass seed. And then you have your 1621-2 Green Pop. This is their starter fertilizer. This is what you're going to do today. Now, in a couple weeks, we'll come back with a different variation of this to keep the growth going. But to start everything off, you want to put down the 1621 Green Pop, and you want to put down the RGS. You're going to do 12 ounces per 1,000 square feet of this, and 3 ounces per 1,000 square feet of this. And you want to go ahead and you want to use like an orthodilin spray. Don't put it in a backpack sprayer because you want to get a really heavy dilution with water, 21 or 20 to 1, I think, dilution rate. Could be wrong about that. But I think that's right. So you want lots of water on this. So so we're gonna go ahead and mix this up. So Andrew from Landsy was kind enough to send me this for free to go ahead and try out. So it's a compost and peat moss spreader. If you've seen any of my videos before when I've done this stuff by hand, it's messy. So this should help get things nice, keep you nice and clean-ish, considering you're sweaty and dirty anyway, but at least your arms won't be just covered in organic material. So this is a compost and peat moss spreader. We're gonna go ahead and put it together, put some peat moss out, and then this job is done. Well, there you go. There. I'd say that's pretty easy to put together. We are done with the peat moss. Probably could have got another bag or two, but You know, usually you want to put on, I mean, there's really, they say like a couple inches. I don't think you need a couple inches, especially here at the beginning, is when you just want to keep the seed wet, and that's what peat moss is good for. It's going to tell you when you need water, because if it's dry and dusty, you need to water it. So that's the next part. That's the next part of this process, is just water. You want to water, 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 water. If you don't water, your seed's not going to germinate. I mean, it may a little bit, but you're definitely not going to get full on germination. So I subscribe to 3 times a day, once in the morning, once afternoon time, probably around noon, and another time probably like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And that will get you your 3 times, probably about 15 minutes, but that depends on your sprinkler. You know, if you have a like a gearhead sprinkler or impact sprinkler, you may not need to do it for that long. You may just need to do 10 minutes because it'll put out more water. But if you're using an oscillating sprinkler, you may need to do it for like 25 or 30 minutes. Just judge it. When the peat moss starts to look wet, you can turn off the water. So if you have a timer, that makes things a whole lot easier. If you have an irrigation system, that makes things even easier. But so that is it for the project brother-in-law on this part anyway. We're gonna come back in a couple weeks to do the next round of fertilizer using the next line of products. We'll do that video in a couple weeks. But yeah, his lawn renovation is now underway. We'll see you all in the next video.